Look out, America. Joe Biden has left the basement. President Trump recently had stopped calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe and started calling him Joe Biden. That he was going to try to hide out in his basement for the remainder of this election season. But because the president is out and about and drawing throngs of people and is on the offensive, and his poll numbers are skyrocketing, and the American people see through the canard and the fallacy of what the Democrats are trying to do. In other words, blame Trump for the violence. Joe Biden has had to leave the basement. Now, he's done a few things that have been just really cheesily done, like where he delivered pizza to some firemen in Pennsylvania. Yeah, because Joe Biden works in a pizzeria. And he was heckled from a guy across the street, so they really couldn't use the footage, other than if they used it, they had to actually mute the audio of Joe being there, and the reporter would have to talk over the top of it because the heckler was just great, and the heckler had a bullhorn, so that was awesome. So then he makes his way to Kenosha because the president went there, and the president was received by a vast majority of people, and it went really, really well. So Biden had to go, and he held his event in a church wearing a mask. Everybody there wore a mask. And of course, right away, he's got to pander because he's talking to black Americans. So he's got to start speaking, which means it's about to get really interesting.
We gotta, for example, why in God's name don't we teach history in history classes? A black man invented the light bulb, not a white guy named Edison.
Okay, Joe, you should have attended one of the history classes that I taught, because I have over 25 years experience of teaching American history in the classroom. The person you're referring to right over here is a person by the name of Lewis Latimer. Lewis worked for Thomas Edison. Now, right there, that's an incredible story in and of itself. His parents, grandparents were slaves. Here he is, the son and grandson of former slaves, and he's a well-educated man who is now working at that time for the most prestigious scientist and inventor in the country, Thomas Alva Edison. And he is there for the groundbreaking results of Thomas Edison coming up with the incandescent light. Now, there's another inventor over in England who tries to lay claim that he had the light bulb 10 years before Edison, but what he had was something that burned for a few minutes, and it was Edison who came up with the fact that it had to be that filament inside had to be in a vacuum-sealed dome. There couldn't be any oxygen or the filament wouldn't be able to hold the glow. And it was Thomas Edison who invented the concept of a vacuumed globe, and he came up with carbon as the filament. And he got his invention patented. Well, 3 years later, Lewis Latimer patented with a light bulb, don't miss this, a better way to make the filament inside. In other words, Henry Ford didn't invent the automobile, but he did invent a faster, better, more efficient way to build an automobile on an assembly line process. And that's basically what Lewis Latimer did. He came up with a faster, better way, cheaper way to mass produce the carbon filament for inside the light bulb. I highly doubt that Bill Gates gives credit to all the people who have worked at Microsoft that made his ideas better. And even though Steve Jobs was the master showman and knew how to do an unveiling event for the Macintosh computer, the iPod, the iPad, the smartwatch, do we really think that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were hunkered down in laboratories like Thomas Edison and coming up with these things, these prototypes themselves. No, they had ideas and they had people that went to work making it happen. So while we need to celebrate the incredible contribution that Lewis Latimer made, and his history is incredible, he is not the inventor of the light bulb. But Joe wasn't done there.
I can lay out for you. I won't now because they'll shoot me. But here's the deal.
Did you hear what he just said? If I go much longer, they're going to shoot me. Remember where he is. He is in an event with people who are upset that, again, another black man has been shot. And what does Joe Biden say? If I go much longer, they're going to shoot me.
I can lay out for you. I won't now because they'll shoot me. But here's the deal.
You know, why do I think that if Joe Biden were speaking to a group of people at a suicide support group and he was going a little bit long, or he had made a gaffe that he caught himself saying, that he would then follow it up with another gaffe like, wow, can't believe I said that. I'm going to go hang myself. You know, this is Joe Biden. This is the guy that you want leading the free world. This is out of your 30-plus candidates. This was your cream of the crop dude that you gave the head nod to and said, yup, he's our guy. You want to lecture us about lives mattering, but yet those lives apparently don't matter to you because you pushed them all out of your primary way and you went with old, stale, and pale and dementia-ridden. And it's just absolutely unbelievable that he's back out on the campaign trail. But hey, it's going to be fun for us to watch, isn't it? You know, when Joe Biden gives a speech, you just never know what's going to come out of his mouth. Steve Martin, years ago, and I used to have his albums back in the 70s, you know, he did this little routine about, if you want to play a great dirty trick on a 3-year-old kid, what you do is whenever you're around him, you talk wrong. Because kids learn how to talk from listening to their parents. So it's like his first day in school, and he raised his hand. May I mumbo dog face to the banana patch? And, you know, I remember as a kid listening to that, and I would just lay on my bed in my bedroom, and I would laugh so hard, tears would come down my cheeks. I just laughed so much. Well, when Joe Biden talks, I'm kind of feeling like he took Steve Martin literally. You know, I can hear Joe Biden give a speech that goes something like this. When I was a kid back in Scranton, the wheels fell off my canoe, and it made me wonder, how many pancakes fit in a doghouse? None, because ice cream doesn't have bones. I know, what I just said made absolutely no sense, but that's Joe Biden out there. Understand the irony. He says, our problem is kids don't know our history. They don't know history. They don't know that a black man invented the light bulb. Joe, no, you don't know history. And it's rather frightening that you want to be the American president, but you don't know American history. It's like listening to Nancy Botox Pelosi whine and cry, I was set up. I was set up. Ask General Flynn what it actually means to be set up. When you lecture us ad nauseum about follow the rules, follow the mandates, we have to save lives, you're going to kill your grandmother if you don't have a mask on. When you were leading the impeachment charge against Trump and you wanted all Americans focused on impeach, 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 you didn't want America thinking about a virus. And when the president tried to bring it up, you said it was a deflection, a distraction away from the impeachment. When the president enacted a travel ban against China, you, Nancy Botox Pelosi, and all of your cohorts in Congress went to Chinatown in New York City and said, come on, come out and celebrate. You don't need a mask. This is ridiculous. Just come celebrate. And then when you said, no one is above the law, but how's my hair? You people are so full of it, and now that Joe Biden is on the loose, at least we're going to have something to laugh about every day. Hey, that's it for this ramble. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. Have yourself a great holiday weekend, and don't forget, smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.